Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Today we are interviewing the one and only YITZY Spinner, and we're going to start off by playing a little of one of his songs. Okay, that was a little of the song. Now let's get into the interview. Where do you grow up and where do you live now?
Great question. I grew up in the New York and New Jersey area. Really for most of my life. I've lived in the New York and New Jersey area for my entire life. Now I live in Long Island. I've lived in Long Island for about 6.5 years now.
Wow. Um, where do you go for elementary school and for high school?
I went to two different elementary schools. I first went to RJJ in Staten Island, and then I went to Torah MS in Borough Park. And high school was
May
a school.
may I ask why you switched
I
elementary
moved.
school?
I
Oh,
moved. Family moved. And then for high school, I went to a school called JEC in Elizabeth, New Jersey.
mm. um, did you go to base methods or did you go to college?
I went to both. I learned in a yeshiva. After high school, I learned in a yeshiva in Israel in a town called Alon Shvut, called Yeshivat Har Etzion. And then I went after that to Yeshiva University.
And you went to high school, you said.
Yes, correct. High
Well,
school. High school was in JEC in Elizabeth, New Jersey.
oh, what did you do after high school?
I,
What
s-
did what did you do after? Yeah.
so I went to yeshiva in Israel in a town called Alon Shvut, um, which is in an area called the Gush Etzion. Yeshiva was called Yeshiva Har Etzion. And then after that year, then I came back to America and I went to Yeshiva University.
You went back to Israel after college, right?
Not I've been there many times, but I stayed in America, still living in America after college.
Oh, um, at what age did you start singing?
I don't even remember. I was really little when I started singing. I know I started singing with Miami Boys Choir when I was 8 years old, but I was
We're
sing.
going to get to that later. What age did you start singing? Two, three.
Probably 3, 4, something like that.
Okay, you don't remember when you started. Yeah.
No.
Okay. Um, how many albums do you have out now?
Oh, that's a good question. I've been a part of many, many, many albums over the last almost 35 years. I actually don't even know exactly how many I've been a part of. Um, I'd have to count. I don't know, dozens, for sure, dozens.
Oh, you don't have any personal.
I do have
I,
so personal. I do have lately I haven't been releasing personal albums, really just singles, like the one that you just played is a single that I released last year. I like to release singles now instead of full albums. I did release one album maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, probably, maybe even more. But in general, I only release singles. I find it to be a little bit better for me.
okay. What is your favorite song of all of your singles?
Of all of my singles, my favorite of my singles is probably one that I released earlier this year. It's called Titchadesh. It's probably my favorite. I
Wow.
don't, have you heard that one yet?
No, I will listen to it right after.
Perfect. All right, you'll have to let me know what you think. You'll text me. You'll let me know what you think.
Yeah. Um, what what do you do when you're not performing?
Good question. I spend a lot of time with my family. I really love spending time with the family. Um, I write music. I record a lot of music, a lot of things involving with music. I like to run and I like to ride my bicycle a lot. I like to stay active and I travel a lot as well. I like to keep things exciting.
Yeah. Um, who did you who did you get inspired by to start singing?
I don't think I was really inspired by anyone as much as I just grew up around music. My father was a career saxophonist and clarinetist, so there was always music around in the house. And so I was just exposed to it from a really young age, that there was always music playing and there was always that type of an environment around me. And that allowed me to really appreciate music from a very young age.
Wow. Um, are you coming out with a new song or album?
New singles. I have a few singles that I'm working on right now. I don't know exactly when they'll be released, but definitely working on a few right now.
Um, at what age did you start performing live?
I was probably, well, when I was little, even before I was in Miami Boys Choir, I was in camp and I would perform with camp choirs. I think the first performance that I did with Miami, I was probably nine, maybe 9 years old.
Um, you you must have sing with the greats like um David Pullman, Mordecai Shapiro.
So I'm actually older than both of them. So
What?
I'm older than both of them. Yeah, I know. I'm older than both of them. So I actually was not in the choir with them. I was in the choir before them.
Wow.
Hmm.
A lot of people I interviewed were was in the Miami Boys Choir. No one was in the Yeshiva Boys Choir.
I don't know. It's possible. I believe you, but my experience was with Miami Boys Choir.
Yeah. Um, who did you sing with and who did you perform with?
Uh, hmm, well, 35 years ago, 30 years ago, when I was with Miami Boys Choir, I would perform with um, a lot of the artists that were especially popular back in that day.
What about in general? Who?
Probably almost everyone you can think of, I've performed with at this point. Thankfully, having been involved in the music business for 35 years, I've crossed paths with a lot of different performers.
May I ask, do you know Matis Yohu?
Sure.
You have his number?
I do have his number. Yes, I can't give out his number, but I do have his number.
Shoot, I was hoping you would text me his number.
Yeah, I wish I could. I wish I could. One thing in the music business and a lot of other businesses is it's considered unprofessional to give away people's personal contact information.
How about you text him for me and I am you ask him for me
Okay, you got it.
and I will be in touch. Um you did who am I missing? Oh like where did you perform in your career? Where did you sing?
I've sung in a lot of countries. I've sung all over the United States and Canada and Mexico and Israel many, many times, and England and France and Belgium and the Netherlands and Poland and Hungary and the Czech Republic and Austria, many, many different countries.
Wow. Um did when did you sing in Israel?
I've sung in Israel many times. My first time, I was probably 9 years old, was probably the first time that I sang in Israel. And even now, I still sing in Israel, especially for sometimes I go for weddings that I sing at. I was there this year for a wedding that I sang at.
This year in the middle of the war?
Yeah, in the middle of the war.
Wow.
Yeah, I try to go to Israel as often as I can.
Uh, what kind of clientele do you sing for?
That's a really good question. I'm happy to sing for anyone. I find that most of my business comes from um, a more modern crowd, not so much in the Hasidish world. But I'm happy to sing for everybody. Happy to try to make anyone happy if I can.
Anyone, even non-Jews?
If they want to hear me sing, then sure.
Wow. Um, how do you come up with your songs?
Um, hmm, that's a really interesting question. Um, I like to I like to sit down to compose when I feel inspired by something. I'll sit down at the piano or I'll pick up a guitar. Often it comes from certain words that I'd like to compose with, or often it comes from just a mood that I'm feeling that I want to try to capture in the music. I don't think there's really a formula that I use. Some people do, but there's really no formula that I use for. I sit down and I say, okay, now I'm going to write a song. It really happens a little bit more organically when I feel inspired by something.
Wow. Um, do you have any funny stories about traveling to a show or a wedding?
Funny stories. What can I tell you? Funny stories. Nothing really that sticks out. I don't know. Everything is fun. I try to always have fun when I'm on my way to a performance. It's work, but it's always a pleasure to be up on stage and perform for other people and try to bring them extra simcha. So try to make everything fun. I don't know if there are any particular funny stories that I can think of though.
Wow. You don't have any. Okay, let's skip to the last question. What words of inspiration do you have for the world?
That's a big responsibility to give inspiration for the world. I don't know if I'm qualified for
Yeah.
that. Um, I think I think everyone has the ability to make someone's day a little better. I think everyone has the ability to find their own way to make someone smile and to make someone feel better and to make the world a little bit of a better place. And that's what I try to do. I try to make every day a little bit better than yesterday, for me and for my family and for everyone else around me. And I think that if we focus on making everyone just a little happier, I think we'd all benefit from it.
Thank you for letting me interview you. Thank you for coming on. And thank you for not blocking my number. I know I've been bothering you. I know I've been calling you, texting you, WhatsApping you. I was thinking of flying down to your house and knocking on your door.
You've been amazing. You can continue to text me anytime you need. You know that.
Thank you so much. You will text Marcus Yahoo for me, please.
Yes, will do.
Thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks so much.